Minnesota, Minnesota, Minnesota. The thing is, I'll tell you, I watched both games last night. I watched Hawks versus Heat. Big surprise. The Miami Heat completely melted. Did not play well whatsoever. Jimmy Butler missed a lot of really, layups, basically, close to the rim shots. Clint Capella was a force. And Kyle Lowry played one of his best games I've seen in a while. Unfortunately, that doesn't matter because they're eliminated. They're not eliminated. What am I saying? They're playing another game against the Raptors / Chicago in Miami, at least. That game, to me, there's not a lot to talk about with that game. The Hawks, they made a point to prove that last year they got beaten badly by the Heat. They wanted to make a point. That's cool. Good for the Hawks. I gotta talk about this Minnesota game. The thing is, when you watch that game, you understand why I tell you there's such thing as plot. Because I watched that Minnesota game and I see that Minnesota's winning by a good amount of points, and I'm like, that's cool, but I know the Lakers are going to come back. And not only do I know the Lakers are going to come back, I know they're going to have the lead towards the end of this game. We'll see how Minnesota responds. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns, he had 5 fouls. I think his 5th foul was, not the smartest thing. Anthony Edwards, I honestly thought he was injured because he was shooting so poorly. And I remember Kyle Anderson. I remember Anthony Davis was guarding Kyle Anderson, and he lost the ball and it went to the backcourt, and it was a backcourt violation. And I just look like the Timberwolves, the Lakers definitely should have lost this game. Like, the Timberwolves definitely should have won this game. It's just they kept shooting themselves in the foot. They just kept doing things that, and when you watch a game like that, you're just like, Anthony Edwards is a young player. So, his bad shooting day, I'm not gonna crucify Anthony Edwards for that. And then Karl-Anthony Towns, I think he was aggressive in the first half, and they kind of just slowed down completely in the second half. But it tells you it's so. And Anthony Davis did bail him out as well, because Mike Conley got fouled and he hit all 3 free throws, and I was like, hey, that's cool. You get to overtime, and there was multiple chances. There was some steals that happened at the end of the game, some inbound pass steals that happened at the end of the game. You're like, oh crap, Minnesota might do something, but they have no plot. Minnesota, it's tough to be in purgatory. I looked at the Minnesota Timberwolves Reddit, and I saw that a lot of them were very pissed and upset with Anthony Edwards and the coach and all that. I mean, it's tough to be in purgatory. You've been in purgatory for many years, your whole existence, really. No, maybe Kevin Garnett, you were out of purgatory technically because he was a superstar, but you just didn't give him a good team until that one year you made to the conference finals, and then you lost, which makes sense. It makes sense that y'all lost, but it's unfortunate. The unfortunate thing is that it's tough. You can't escape purgatory. You made a trade for Rudy Gobert, which was such an awful trade. And that it's like, if you're gonna trade your capital for a player, you gotta trade your capital for an offensive player, for a high-end star, superstar player. But Rudy Gobert, honestly, he's one of the most overrated players in my opinion in the league. The fact you almost won the game without Rudy Gobert kind of tells you a lot. You get him back for the next game. I don't know what you're gonna do. Honestly, I don't see that you're gonna succeed. But it's just like it's there's no hope. There's nothing to sell. If you're a Timberwolves fan, there's nothing to sell. There's nothing to sell. What do you sell to your fans? We're a play-in team again. We made a trade for Rudy Gobert, and we're still a play-in team, right? We had a lead in this game. We lost. We may lose the next game. Like, what do you sell? What do you sell to your team? There's nothing to sell. And there's nothing. There hasn't been anything to sell for years. You know what I'm saying? So it's very unfortunate that that's happening to you, but low key, as I mentioned, y'all move to Seattle, man, so y'all get a fan base. Well, y'all have a fan base, but y'all can get maybe a little more plot if you move to Seattle. I don't know. It's unfortunate, but I looked at that game and it screamed plot. It screamed like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be a loss. Even regardless of this 15-point lead, I'm like, it don't matter who they playing. Like, it's the Timberwolves. They're gonna fail. The Lakers, congratulations for making it to the playoffs. A lot of people have hyped up the Lakers, saying the Lakers are going to be this absolutely dominant team. I do believe the Lakers will give Memphis a big time fight. I think Memphis definitely is going to have some things to worry about in that series. But I look at it. I'm not gonna sit back and tell you, oh yeah, like the Lakers we're gonna win this series. Like, they may win. You never know. They may win this series, but I can clearly see the Grizzlies shutting that all up. Because the Grizzlies, the thing is, they're a good team. Like, you look at people kind of they're starting to underrate the Grizzlies underrate the Grizzlies. But, you know, when John Morant went down, you know, I'm thinking that Memphis is going to tailspin. I think Memphis is going to be, you know, they have problems now. You know, Steven Adams is hurt. Brandon Clark is hurt. John Morant is out. I'm like, dang, what's going on? They still won games. They're one of only 2 teams in the West to win 50 games. They were still consistently winning. John Morant came back and it didn't hurt anything. They're still winning. They have some experience. They've been to the playoffs the last 2 years before this. Right? You know, so, you know, the Lakers, you know, the fact that they barely beat Minnesota without Rudy Gobert, even though they played better without Rudy Gobert, the fact that they barely, you know, beat Minnesota is like, the Grizzlies shouldn't be chilling, but they shouldn't be worried that bad. Like, if they blew out the Timberwolves, you'd be like, okay, maybe. But, you know, the fact that the Grizzlies can obviously choke and obviously mess this up and lose the series if they don't, you know, take care of business. But the Grizzlies should win this in 6 games. This should not be maybe 7, but this should not be some, like, the Lakers should not win the series. Like, the Grizzlies are a better team than the Lakers. The Lakers have the better player, and usually historically that, you know, works well for the, you know, one of the teams. But there's a reason why you're the 7th seed, and there's a reason why I'm the 2 seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to show that. You have to prove I'm the 2 seed for a reason. Number 1. And number 2, I mean, you have the better player, but he's old. And John Morant is not that much worse than LeBron James at this point as a player. You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron's old. John Morant is like on the threshold of hitting a superstar. And LeBron is obviously an established superstar. But I'm just saying, man, like, if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm not going to sit back and be like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. I got to face LeBron. Let's go. I'm 2 seed. I won 51 games? Let's get it. Let's see what I can do. So that's going to be an interesting series. But Timberwolves, get your act together, man. Y'all trade Cat, maybe. I think you might have to trade Karl Anthony Towns, because I don't know what you do next, but purgatory sucks. I know it do. Y'all need a tank, and join the tank train like Houston. Join the tank train. Get yourself a superstar player, and that's how you do it. You gotta get yourself another Kevin Garnett. That's the only way teams like you succeed. You gotta draft them. You gotta draft well. The only way y'all succeed. So that's unfortunate. The other 2 games that are happening today, you know, my quick predictions, I'm gonna say the Pelicans win that game. Even though Shea is playing really well, it's gonna be a really close game. I do believe in the Pelicans to, you know, show their experience and to win the game. And I think Toronto, Chicago, I think Chicago wins. I don't know. I feel like Patrick Beverley, he's a play-in champion, you know what I'm saying? I think Patrick Beverley brings that extra vibe to Chicago and gives Chicago a, you know, great win at Toronto. I believe in Chicago to win that game. These are elimination games, and the playing game definitely makes this whole thing more exciting. I love the playing concept. It allows teams that are usually, you know, in strong purgatory to have a reason to exist. You know what I'm saying? To have a reason to be excited. You know, maybe I can make the playoffs. It gives you an extra incentive. It's like, you know you're in purgatory, but hey, it's, you know, gives you an extra fun game to watch, and it's the best teams to be in the play-in are the young teams. Like, teams like the Thunder should be excited to be in the play-in, right? Those are teams that you want, like the very young teams with ascending stars who just haven't matured enough yet. That's who you want to play. If you got a team like Chicago who's freaking old, you don't want that. That's terrible. Also, Zion Williamson. I don't think he's gonna play. I'm pretty sure he's not gonna play today. Zion, man. I think they say you ready to play. You're able to play, but you just don't want to because you want to be 100%. I guess. I don't know. It's the playoffs. If y'all make the playoffs, man, y'all facing the Nuggets, bro, I say go at it, bro. Go in the play. Get some playoff experience. Play 5 games. You probably going to lose in 5 or 6. Like, play 5 games. You want to wait another year? Like, oh, I want to be fully healthy so you can get injured in week 10 of the season next year and not play in the playoffs again? Like, yeah. Hey, we'll see what happens. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.